Special counsel Robert Hur, who wrote the report that suggested Biden should not face any criminal charges pertaining to classified documents, while also laying out the contrast between Trump and Biden's cases, had a congressional hearing where both him and his reporting largely came under fire from Republicans and Democrats. And I think Democrats utilized their line of questioning perfectly to highlight the stark differences between Trump's criminal case and Biden's, where no criminal intent was found, pushing back hard against the narratives that Republicans are desperately clinging to in hopes to distract from the fact that their candidate has 91 criminal charges. Let's start with Jamie Raskin, just perfectly showcasing how these two cases are nothing alike.
Your report starts with the line, "We conclude that no criminal charges are warranted in this matter." Have you had any reason to change your opinion about that?
No, ranking member.
You highlight the independence and support you got from the Attorney General and DOJ. Have you changed your mind about that?
I have not.
The report describes President Biden's cooperation in your requests. He allowed his homes to be searched. He answered questions for hours in the midst of a global crisis. Have you had any reason to change your mind about that?
No, ranking member.
All right. You also repeatedly contrast Biden's cooperation with the conduct of Donald Trump. You say, quote, "Most notably, after being given multiple chances to return classified documents and avoid prosecution, Mr. Trump allegedly did the opposite. According to the indictment, he not only refused to return the documents for many months, but he also obstructed justice by enlisting others to destroy evidence and then to lie about it." Have you any reason to change your judgment about the differences between President Biden's cooperation and the former president's non-cooperation?
No, I continue to stand by those words in my report.
Exactly. This is something that almost all presidents get wrapped up in, but the actions following are what matters. And after, Biden was fully willing to cooperate, letting agents into his home, take his personal belongings. He allowed interviews, while Trump did none of these things, even when subpoenaed, and also instructed people to move documents and destroy the evidence of doing so. Having classified information after leaving office, it goes back as far as Reagan in terms of presidents. Plenty of presidents do it. No one bats an eye until you're repeatedly refusing to admit that you have them, give them up, and you're actively trying to hide them. The intent and motive is clearly different there than it's ever been for any other president. Next is Republican Scott Fitzgerald trying to get her to label Biden as senile or in a state of cognitive decline, a narrative that has been largely coming out of the report that he wrote, of which the attempt falls flat on its face.
Webster's dictionary defines senile as exhibiting a decline of cognitive ability, such as memory associated with old age. Mr. Hur, based on your report, did you find that the president was senile?
I did not. That conclusion does not appear in my report, Congressman.
And this is really just more narrative boosting, like, oh, see, Biden's so old, he definitely can't do the job. This guy who had a conversation with him even says so. And clearly, that's not even kind of the case. Even Robert Hur says so.
In your investigation, did you find that President Biden directed his lawyer to lie to the FBI?
We identified no such evidence.
Okay. Did you find that President Biden directed his lawyer to destroy classified documents?
No.
Did you find that President Biden directed his personal assistant to move boxes of documents to hide them from the FBI?
No.
Did you find that President Biden directed his personal assistant to delete security camera footage after the FBI asked for that footage?
No.
Did you find that President Biden showed a classified map related to an ongoing military operation to a campaign aide who did not have clearance?
No.
Did you find that President Biden engaged in a conspiracy to obstruct justice?
No.
Did you find that President Biden engaged in a scheme to conceal?
No.
Each of the activities I just laid out describe what Donald Trump did in his willful mishandling of classified information and his criminal efforts to deceive the FBI.
Again, this is just a beautiful line of questioning to highlight what is a blatant contrast between the two situations by Representative Ted Lieu here. And it highlights how Republicans are really just gunning to get these very specific quotes that they can then run to Twitter and social media about and take largely out of context in hopes that nobody's going to read the actual report, listen to the hearing, listen to the other side. The only problem is they're doing a pretty poor job at it, while Democrats are on it 100%. One more clip I did want to show, however, and it might be the most hilarious of all. Eric Swalwell using his time to point out first a bit of hypocrisy and then just absolutely embarrass Trump.
In your report, though, is that correct? The word photographic?
That does not appear in my report.
I now want to show you and play a video of what is absolutely not photographic.
In the failing New York Times by an anonymous, really an ominous, gutless coward. We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation. And I watch our police and our firemen down in 7-Eleven, down at the World Trade Center. And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won. This is the very definition of totalitarianism. And let me begin by wishing you a beautiful, look, you remember this? Do you remember? God bless the United States.
I mean, you love to see it. And as you could see in the beginning behind him there, prior to the hearing with Robert Hur told Biden he had an almost photographic memory, only to then leave it out of the report. And it's just hilarious that he puts the clips in a hearing while he has his time, and everyone, Republicans, they have to sit there and take it. You just have to watch what is clear mental decline, not just out of context stuff that you're trying to take of stuttering. When we look back on this in history, I think in the history books, it'll be documented how Republicans preempted the embarrassment of their own candidate's clear and obvious mental decline by trying to create a false narrative about the other guys first. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.